All right. We have talked a lot so far, just in this lesson, about how tiny atoms are. But honestly, they are so small that it's hard for us to think about, which is why we have to use models like the drawings that you made, the drawings that other scientists have made to try and represent what an atom looks like. It's why we've had to come up with a totally new unit of measurement, atomic mass units, to talk about their mass, how much matter is inside of them. So I wanted to give y'all a quick demonstration from scaleofuniverse.com. Go check it out later if you would like to. That kind of shows us, compared to us and other everyday objects, just how tiny an atom is. So let's dive in. Right now we're at 10 to the zeroth power, so really like 1. We're using humans as our sort of start of the scale, and now we are going to zoom in past basketballs, past hummingbirds and chicken eggs, marbles, coffee beans, ants, grains of salt. All the way down here, we're at width of a human hair. So if you pull a hair forward from your forehead and look at it, the width of that, that's how small we're looking at right now. And we're not even close to getting down to where we're going to go. Here's the smallest thing visible to the naked eye, so without using a magnifying glass or a microscope. And now we're going to go down to stuff that we can't see on our own. Skin cells, white blood cells, a red blood cell, lots of things that you might have looked at in biology. Chromosomes, human chromosomes. Different wavelengths of visible light, so different colors of light. Viruses, so coronavirus would be somewhere around here in terms of size. If we keep going, here's the thing that's the smallest visible thing to an optical microscope. That's like a typical light microscope that's just using lenses to magnify how big something looks to us. To get down and look at stuff smaller than this, we have to use a new tool called an electron microscope. Here's HIV, another famous virus, even more viruses. That's a part of a computer. Our own DNA. Keep going. Keep going. Glucose, sugar, that's a single sugar molecule. And you can see the atoms that are making it up. And here, finally at 10 to the negative 9 meters, that's 0.000000001 meters. We can see a cesium atom, which is a pretty big atom. In fact, if we keep going, here's a carbon atom, a water molecule, the smallest thing visible to an electron microscope. And guess what? There are atoms so small that an electron microscope can't actually show them to us. Those atoms are the hydrogen atom and the helium atom, which you can see the hydrogen only has 1 proton and 1 electron. So that is like the smallest thing we can get in terms of a whole atom. Now we can zoom in even further. We can look at gamma ray radiation. We can keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and we finally hit some atomic nuclei. These are protons and neutrons stuck together. The difference in size between an atom and the nucleus is actually huge because most of the size of an atom isn't made up of the nucleus. It's made up of empty space where electrons are flying around. So there's our nuclei for uranium. That's a huge atom. Nuclei for chlorine. An electron, now take that with a grain of salt. It's really hard for us to know how big an electron is and how big it is in terms of its volume or how much space it takes up. Doesn't have much to do in this case with how much mass it has. And electrons still basically have 0 mass. They're so small. All right. Last things, we're going to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Down here, look at this decimal. That's how small a single proton and a single neutron are. So this just blows my mind every time. Thank y'all for letting me share this with you. It gets me.